lost a presentation. Except, of course, when the house lost together as a collective. Faith.
Yes, big brother.
Your record speaks for itself. And Big Brother commends your consistency and commitment.
Thank you very much, big brother.
Well done.
Nice. Yo! Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, last night was epic. Yep, last night was phenomenal. It was amazing. Yes, if you've been following me on Twitter, you would have seen a tweet I put out yesterday. Yes, I am trying to, hold on a second, I'm going to have to quote that tweet. All right, because I told myself I'm going to use that tweet to open up my video, my video. Yeah, so just 1 second. I need to get that tweet. Yes. Okay, so what I said was, tonight's wager is definitely the most important and most anticipated presentation of this entire season. The competition isn't amongst the teams, but between Faith and the house and some viewers, of course. And the mission is to humble Faith. Yeah, I mean, guys, with the way things had been happening this entire week, you'll agree with me that last night's wager presentation was a competition between Faith and the house and some of the viewers. Why? Because everybody that disagrees with Faith, everybody that does not like the boy, they are on a mission to humble that boy. The same way people were on a mission to humble Dede weeks ago. Yeah, and of course, Dede has crumbled and they are satisfied now. All these people were on a mission to humble Faith yesterday. Yeah, so my tweet continues. I wrote, I can imagine Biggie's anticipation towards tonight's wager presentation, especially from Faith's team. It's either Biggie is neutrally hoping that Faith's team prove themselves self-sufficient by not depending on Faith as usual and giving them a wow performance, or he, like the rest of the house, so badly wants to humble Faith and so must give a win to the arts and craft team, that's Faith's team. If not a win, probably some very flowery accolades for their hard work, in quotes. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. And ladies and gentlemen, I saw how it all played out. We all saw how it all played out. It was epic. It was insane. And when I say it was epic, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the night, Faith was not humbled in any way. And by that, I mean, there was no negativity whatsoever. Yep, there was no negativity. It was a win-win for everybody, but not for some. Because some people, housemates, viewers, they were angry. They were livid because the outcome last night was not their expectation. They expected Big Brother to disgrace this young man. They expected Big Brother to shame him. They expected Big Brother to humble him. In other words, remind him that he is nothing in the grand scheme of things. But instead, Big Brother placed Faith on a very, very high pedestal. Listen, in my mind, when Big Brother was showering this guy with his accolades last night, it reminded me of the scene from The Lion King. The part where Rafiki lifted up Sinbad. I was singing, Yo! Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into this video, and of course, I will share with you the details of how last night's wager presentation panned out, all right? All the housemates did great. They all put their best foot foot forward. Kind of English. They all put their best foot forward, and I was so proud of all of them. Yes, and I just could not help but shout them with their accolades as well. So don't worry, watch this video to the end, and I'm going to spill the details, all right? And yeah, aside the presentation, Biggie finally addressed Zita's assault on Rude Boy. We're going to talk about that as well on this video very, very briefly, all right? So yeah, make sure you watch this video to the end. Do not skip out in any part so you do not miss out on anything. And what else? Yeah, there were some red telephone calls. Guys, I don't want to make a second video, so I'm thinking if I should just compile everything on this video or if I should just do like a separate video. Okay, let's see how it goes. If this video becomes too lengthy, then I just might end it and then I'll make a second video where I talk about Zita's verdict and every other thing I want to talk about, all right? But let's see how it goes. And oh, another thing, quick reminder, today is Saturday. You know what happens in this community every Saturday. By 3 p.m. WAT, we're going to be converging here for our community gathering. For our community gathering, our YouTube live conversation. Guys, I look forward to seeing all of you. So please make it a date with us. Do not miss out. There's a lot to unpack. We've been fighting all week. Yes. For those of you that have been receiving it hot on my channel in the comment section, we've been fighting all week and we need to do some clearing of airs. And also, there's a lot to unpack from the house. So I look forward to hosting all of you. Do not miss out, all right? Make sure you come through, okay? And finally, you are welcome to my channel. My name is Bbnaija. This is Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija, and I call myself the girl with the T. Without further ado, let's proceed to the rest of the video. All right, let's take it a step back. If you have been following my videos yesterday, you would have heard where I mentioned that the housemates had been working their ass off on the wager. And you could tell that aside the fact that normally this season, housemates usually take their wager rehearsals or preparations more serious on Fridays, especially towards the hour of the presentation, right? Aside that, you could tell that everybody was working overtime to prove Faith wrong. Yeah. He had made a bold statement, in fact, several bold statements, and they all disagreed with that statement. So they wanted to prove him wrong. They wanted to prove that without him, they can do great. Without him, they can be productive. Without him, they can create masterpieces. So it was with that drive that Faith's team especially was working extra hard on their wager presentation. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've been watching the show this entire season objectively, you will agree with me that that was a first. That was a first. Now, the likes of Manson, obviously, you know, contributes to wager preparations from time to time, but there are others that rarely do. Kola, busy with his gossip sessions. Dede, busy maintaining beauty and whatever else she does. Who else? K-Bobo, food, kitchen duties, not necessarily giving his best or even anything at all to wager preparations. Who else? Yeah, those people, those three, especially in Faith's team, most of the time, they do not really pull their weight. So because they really felt the need to prove Faith wrong, guys, I personally was impressed with the amount of work, the amount of dedication, the amount of, what's it called now? The amount of help they were rendering, you know, to one another. There was collaboration there. These people were working so hard. They were working so hard. And it was fun to see. Yeah, it was fun to see. And I want to give special accolades to Manson for really pulling his weight. I want to give accolades to him. The artworks, the drawings he did, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The Big Brother eye, maybe not entirely perfect, but it was just excellent, beautiful, flawless. The painting that Zita did, I think he was the one that actually did the sketch, and then all she had to do was to paint on the sketch. She did the painting beautifully. It was just beautiful to behold, and I was really impressed. K-Bobo, K-Bobo was just trying to fill in the gap. Anywhere, he was just trying to fill in the gap. For K-Bobo, it was all about winning the wager because he did not want to, prove fate right. Remember, the night, okay, that was Thursday night after the pool party. He particularly had chased Faith away from the props, had told Faith to move away from the props, that he could handle everything, And then let's not even talk about the shameful and disgraceful, scene that he pulled off where he went to the trash can to go pick up the pieces of Faith's personal script. And then went to go and be copying. God, I did a video about all of those things. If you missed out, please go ahead and check out my previous videos, all right? But overall, the effort the housemates put into it, not all the housemates now, because in Jason J's team, that's the Outcast team, I think it was just basically Jason J that really pulled his weight in preparing the props for his team. And so I give him massive accolades for that, yes. But for Faith's team, oh my goodness, all hands were on deck. All hands were on deck. I saw Dede creating props. I was shocked. I said, so Dede can work hard like this. But anyways, everybody in Faith's team, they really did great. And you could tell that the driving factor, the motivating factor was to shame this guy, to humble this guy, which was actually fair because me too, somebody threw on a challenge like that. To me, I would want to prove you wrong. Yes, I want to prove you wrong. I want to humble you. So they did what they had to do. And so fast forward to them getting to the arena. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, Faith's team, the Coliseum, they put together a beautiful presentation. All right. Now, their presentation, I think the success of their presentation was hinged heavily by or on the individual pieces, individual presentations, yes. Now, I have to say something about color, all right? And please, guys, do not take it the wrong way. This is just my observation. I know we've been talking about it for this entire season, about the way Kola raises the pitch of his voice, the way he changes his accent when he wants to put up a performance, especially in the diary room, and he also does the same thing in the arena when the need be, or whenever he has the role to play host, yes. So he did something similar again, not even similar, he did the exact same thing again last night as he played host for his team. And I'm going to be frank with all of you, it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best. And anybody who is close to Kola needs to tell Kola when he comes out of the house, or maybe when the show is over, that if he really wants to have a successful hosting career, as he says he wants, he needs to tap into his originality more. He needs to tap into his authenticity more. He needs to go back to his organic voice, his organic tone. Every individual has a tone. Yeah. The way you hear me speak right now, when you meet me in person, this is the way I speak. This is my tone. I do not feel the need to increase the pitch or change my tone or start speaking with a very high pitch. No, that's too stressful. This is my tone. This is my voice range, right? This is my voice range, and it's even more comfortable. And if I find myself in a situation where I need to host, I will ensure that I project this one more than trying to change my accent, because it's going to be quite difficult to maintain, So with Kola, I feel like it doesn't really tap into his originality enough. And that is why when he's hosting, aside the circus one that he did where he hosted and he really aced it because his voice texture and his tone, his range, it suited the context of that presentation, right? But aside that, anything else, it all comes across as superficial. It all comes across as not authentic enough. So Kola needs to work on that. I enjoy listening to Kola when he speaks with his God-given natural voice, but the moment he begins to switch it the other way, I don't know, it becomes something else. Yeah, so he needs to work on that. And I say this because, you know, Big Brother actually showered accolades on housemates who had the best performances week in, week out of their Ouija presentations, and Kola did not receive any accolades. So after the whole presentation, when they had gotten back into the house, Kola felt really bad, and he was telling Imisi that he feels so bad, that he feels like he's not creative enough or talented enough, and Imisi had to be consoling him. So he needs to hear this, all right? But anyways, aside Kola, on to the other performances by the likes of Zita, Mensen, Dede. Oh my goodness. Guys, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, Zita's description of a painting. Oh my goodness. That was beautiful. I was so impressed with the way she analyzed her painting. And the reason I was really impressed is, I've said this several times on this channel, that Zita has issues with articulating her thoughts. Yeah, it's almost like a struggle. You know, she's so used to this Gen Z way of expressing herself that when she starts off a sentence, she almost never completes a sentence. It's always a thing of Jangbana Shoko, you know, she's always, you know, this thing that she does, like, it's funny sometimes, but other times it's frustrating because you don't really understand what she's saying, right? So listening to her, putting that effort into giving understanding to her piece of art, that was bliss for me personally. It was beautiful. And even though the painting looked a bit grotesque, there was beauty in it by the time she was done. So kudos to her. And then there was Mensen. Oh my God, indeed, his drawing and painting of Big Brother's eye is truly priceless. I agree with him. There's no price to it. It's truly priceless. Beautiful. I loved it. And then I think he did a fashion show, or a fashion walk, or runway walk. That was also nice. But I'm going to be honest with all of you. I was kind of sick and tired of seeing that Mensen's, you know, the coats or whatever that is, the traditional attire that he wore into the house. I've seen him wear it too many times this season. So I was quite disappointed seeing him wear it again. You know, it's the same thing I said about Doris's ball gown. She had worn it before, and then she wore it again during the horror week, is this scare week? And I'm like, why? I mean, it's okay to repeat outfits, right? Yeah, but when it comes to presentations, why do people repeat outfits? So seeing that Mensen's outfit again, seeing the cap again, I'm like, nah, I'm tired. I'm over it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to see it again. I don't want to see it again. But he made up for it when I think he was stripped off the thing and his white gown was shown. That was beautiful. But before we get to Mensen's final act, Dede's styling session. Woof. Oh my goodness. It wasn't much, but it was something. And it was beautiful to see. I think the background music Big Brother provided the housemates also added that element of, you know, fashion, lifestyle, class, elegance. It added all of those elements to it. And I loved it. I loved what I felt whilst I was watching them, you know, on that stage. It was beautiful. And then the final act, Mensen wearing that white gab and, you know, spreading out his arms, and then his team members oil painting their hands, and then, you know, touching it up on his cloth. His cloth in that moment represented a blank canvas, and everybody had to place their mark on top of it. For me, it was really significant. It was more like you come into Big Brother's house, a blank space or a blank note for yourself, a blank canvas for your life, and then you come in and then you make your mark on it. It was just so beautiful, had a very, very deep meaning to me, and I hope it really did to the housemates as well. You know, so overall, they delivered a very beautiful, solid performance, yes, but in terms of the presentation, it was really lacking. And I totally agree with Big Brother that the little drama thingy that happened before they did a styling session, it was very unnecessary, because I'm thinking, what was that? Anyways, overall, it was beautiful. Now, before they went into full-blown performance, something had happened when Kola started presenting. Big Brother had noticed that Faith was not with his team members because Faith did not join them. So Big Brother had called on Faith to go and join them. And I felt like, okay, that was a good thing, because if Big Brother did not do that, it would ride on the narrative that Faith is Big Brother's favorite. And we know that that is not true, because if at all Big Brother has a favorite, we know who the favorites are. Yeah, that happened. That happened. Now, fast forward to the next team's performance, the Outcasts. Yo. Ladies and gentlemen, it was electrifying. Their opening act, the way Jason and Coin hit that drum, bah, and just in sync, Imisi buckled to the ground. That's got to my brains, yeah. That touched my core, because in fact, it's raptured my attention instantly, because I'm like, okay, what's going on here? It was a beautiful performance. I loved the way everything was synergized, from the dance to Imisi's wailings and crying, and, Mide coming onto the stage, acting as Imisi's mother, scolding her and telling her to choose the corporate world instead of the world of entertainment. Imisi crying and wailing and crying and wailing. It was beautiful. However, yes, however, a lot of you are going to crucify me for this, but it has to be said. As much as the Imisi's crying part was really nice, really beautiful, I felt like at some point she kind of dragged it a bit unnecessarily much. Yeah. I loved the way she started it, where she would wail and cry and then she would abruptly stop and then she would start again. But there was a point in her performance where she dragged it a bit, and I felt like, nah, it's okay. Don't do too much. But aside that, overall, it was a solid performance. It was beautiful. I enjoyed it. It was an emotionally provocative performance that no matter what you think, it will trigger your emotions. It will cause you to think. So I loved it. I appreciated it. Every single one of the people that performed on that stage, all of them, was a solid performance. I enjoyed it. Isabella will always be the clown of the group. Her coming and she was doing this. It was so funny to me, but that was beautiful. They did really well. So Biggie's verdict said that they did not follow the brief. Well, it's Biggie, of course. But I love the fact that Big Brother gave the entire house the wager win. According to him, that was the final wager of the season. So they did great, and so they deserved the win. And guys, honestly, I was happy for these housemates, like genuinely happy for all of them. Yes, because come on, it's the final wager. Let them win it. Let them have it. To be a big disgrace if they did not win their wager, right? So let them win it. Let them have it. It was a beautiful thing to see. So I was super excited for all of them. Now it got to the part where Big Brother was giving honorable mentions to housemates, and this was the part where it felt like the entire house wanted to just die of envy. And it was the part where the first person that had the honorable mention on Big Brother's list was Faith. The way Big Brother put it, oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, if you go back and listen to it again, that was Big Brother backing up Faith's brag, Faith's bold statement that he never loses a wager, that he has never lost a wager. Yeah, because that was exactly what Big Brother said, that this season, there is one of you that has never lost a presentation in 8 weeks, meaning including this week, because Big Brother knew that almost everything that was presented on that stage by Faith's team, most of it were Faith's idea. So Big Brother knew. Big Brother said, one of you has never lost a presentation. And that person, except for when there's a general house loss, but in 8 weeks, that person has never lost a presentation. And that person is Faith. Ladies and gentlemen, see, the housemates, their hands were too heavy. They could not clap. Especially K-Bobo. What's the other one's name? Oh, yeah, K-Bobo, Mide. You see those ones that were actually crucifying Faith? You could tell that their hands were heavy. They could not clap. Like shame could not even allow them to clap. They were angry, especially because they were wondering how the guy did not even join in the presentation on the stage, but he's the first person receiving the first massive accolades. What the hell, Big Brother? What the hell is going on? So you could see the anger and disappointment on their faces. The only two people that even managed to, they were giving like clap. It was Jason and Dede. Yeah, so they just tried to. So it's not look as if they did not clap. But guys, that was such a satisfying moment. Yes, because you see that moment, that was the moment the whole world was waiting for. Everybody with bated breath was waiting to see if Big Brother was going to call out Faith, maybe call him arrogant, maybe label him a proud, or maybe just give him some very, very horrible reviews. But instead, Big Brother showered this guy with massive accolades, because that was a huge accolade from Big Brother. I mean, just literally increased the boys' bragging rights to the skies. That was the moment everybody was waiting for, and it was a very, very satisfying one. Now, Faith was not the only person that received accolades from Big Brother. There were other housemates too that received accolades, for their beautiful rendition of performances, this entire season. He had mentioned Coin for last week's presentation. He had mentioned Faith again for the health and fitness plant-based presentation that he did. That was him bagging 2 accolades for the night. He had mentioned Emisi for is it the Jolly Just Come, the JJC one, where she acted well. He had mentioned who else? I'm trying to remember. Yeah, he had mentioned, okay, Jason J. I think he mentioned Jason J. Who else did he mention? I can't remember who else he mentioned, but he had mentioned these housemates, for delivering a solid performance. Yes, and overall, ladies and gentlemen, the housemates left the arena both happy and sad. Happy because they won the wager, and also because it was their final wager of the season, and also because Big Brother told them that there was no need for shopping this week, because next week they would all be treated as kings and queens that they are. But we know that it's not all of them that's going to see that next week. Yes, so that counts for the sadness that some of them were sad about, and also they were sad because what they wanted to happen to Faith did not happen. Yeah. So things did not end up going entirely their way. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I feel like this video has become overly lengthy, so I'm going to stop talking here right now. I will make another very brief video spilling the tea on other happenings about Zita's verdict and other things that's been happening in the house. All right. So please look out for that video. All right. And for this one, as I sign out, I would love to hear your thoughts about everything that I have shared on this video. Go ahead and share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Bbnaija. Thanks for watching. Enjoy your day. Bye.